All right. Good morning. Monday, where I'm at, in this wrinkle in time. Of course, this is on YouTube, so it could be Wednesday afternoon. Welcome. Today, I want to talk about, are you selfish? Because it's probably killing your career or hurting it at least, or at least not advancing it quickly enough. Nobody thinks they're selfish, but most people are. And what do I mean by that? Especially for actors, this is very important. But of course, directors, writers, producers, it's valuable for everybody. You're in a collaborative medium, right? Collaborative means together. No one person makes a movie. I suppose you could try, but I guarantee you're not going to end up with, anything of real value that the general public is going to accept and appreciate as a work of art. Okay? So what do I mean by are you selfish? And basically, the name of this should be how to succeed by not being selfish. There's a tendency, and it's starting to try to stay positive through all these, but it's starting to annoy me because it comes up a lot. A lot of actors have this sort of sense of entitlement that I work with. And it's not just actors, it's just I deal with them a lot for various reasons, and there seems to be this sense of deserving that isn't earned yet. And I think that's, honestly, to be completely frank with you, a little bit of a thing in today's world, where people come out into the marketplace, into professions, and it's all about them, what they deserve. How they need things to be for them to feel comfortable and be able to do things. Now, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because, of course, you should never be subjected to uncomfortable things for a long period of time that make no sense, that don't further you, that are just abusive. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the fundamentals of workplace appreciation and respect, and hierarchy of a structure, of a system, and respecting that hierarchy, and knowing that you're not the director, you're not the producer, and the world doesn't revolve around you. Now, again, let me get a bit more specific, because people don't think they do this, but they do, a lot of times. Let's say you get called in for a small audition for a music video or some short film or something like that. And I'm saying this because these are things that happened to me in the past and presumably are going to keep happening. And you get the job, and it pays $150 a day, $200 a day, whatever. Nothing mind-blowing. And it's a 2 or 3 day job, maybe a 5-day job. So let's say it's a 5-day job and it pays you $200 a day, okay? So you'll make $1,000 for the week as an actor playing in that little film. Now, because it's a student film or it's a small short or a commercial for a local business, it's basically not Avatar. You walk into that project entitled, like you're above it. Even though you're not. A lot of actors feel like, oh, it's just this little BS thing, and instead of thinking, man, I'm so lucky to have this gig. I'm so lucky to be able to practice, to be on set, to make a movie with people, to be on a project. The attitude is like, another crappy gig until I get to where I really should be, which is in the limelight. This mentality, though you think it's inside your head, bleeds and oozes out of every pore of your body. And people pick up on that. See, humans, we're a lot more in tune with each other than people think. You might be sitting there disrespecting the gig internally and walking around and telling everybody how appreciative you are of it. But there's this sense about you. There's this feeling that people get that you just don't appreciate it. You don't respond to text messages. You You don't seem like you're engaged and proactive about the process. You don't approach the director with questions about your character. You're not fully there. You're on Actors Access looking for the next gig. This is terrible. Terrible for you, and terrible for the project that you're on. Because being an actor requires you to be there fully. And the production is counting on you to deliver your absolute best performance. And you can't deliver your best performance if you don't appreciate the gig. So you shouldn't take that gig to begin with. If you feel like it's above you, or you should come down from your pedestal and recognize that it isn't above you, it's a gig, and you should take it very seriously. An example of that would be that a few years ago, I was casting a 3-part musical experimental film for a friend of mine who is a singer and wanted to do something a bit different, tell a story by stringing a couple of songs together in a very sort of cinematic and slightly, different alternative way. And I was looking for various lead actresses for it. He was going to be the lead male, and we needed a female to sort of be the counterpart. And we found somebody who I thought was perfect. And a day before, so we cast everything, and she seemed excited and appreciative about it. And a day before production began, studios booked, and this wasn't like a zero budget thing. It wasn't a high budget thing, but it was, I don't know, 20 grand. It wasn't big. But she was getting paid decently, and it would have been for her, I think, 11 or so days. No, a week or more on set. I can't remember exactly how long. Maybe a little less than that. What am I trying to say? The day before production, studio's booked, crew's locked in, everybody's ready. She calls me up and says, not the day before, sorry, the night before, 7 to 8 p.m. I'm directing and producing it. And she hits me up and says, "Hey, Daniel, so this audition came up in Hollywood tomorrow. And I was wondering if from about 11 to 1, I could scoot over to Hollywood and do that audition real quick, because it's for Disney. It's a big deal." I was a little bit more polite than I maybe would be about that situation now, but the answer is absolutely, are you out of your bleeping mind? Are absolutely not. Why? It's like saying, "Hey, thanks for hiring me," if you're working at a restaurant, "Mr. Restaurant Manager, appreciate the job. So tomorrow, I actually have another job interview with a bigger restaurant. Would you mind if during lunch hour, when all of our people are there, where the restaurant's the fullest, I would just go over there real quick for a couple hours and see if I can't work for them. And then I'll come back." No big deal, right? How selfish is that? It's ridiculous. How disrespectful to a paying job is that? To request that we take the lead out of the picture for a couple of hours. And by the way, this would have been more than a couple of hours, because we were in Sylmar and Hollywood. And if you know anything about LA and traffic, pre-COVID, the math doesn't work out. Or barely. So the answer is no. And that upset me so much that I told her, "You know what? How about you go to your audition and don't bother coming at all?" And I knew it was going to cost us a little bit of money, but I have relationships with the studios and the crew, so I asked them, "Hey, something happened. I'll pay you a partial rate for tomorrow, but I need to push the shoot." We canceled everything. Recast with somebody who would appreciate the gig. Not only did I not ever And I still remember this actress. I will never work with her ever again. Even if I think she's perfect, even if I'm making a multi-million-dollar movie, I will never work with her again. Not only that, I told other people that that's what she does. Because I'm not to be malicious, to protect my colleagues. Because if God forbid somebody else has to go through that and lose money, I want to prevent that. And this is what selfishness does. It divides the talent from the production. It divides the individual from the collaborative effort. And it creates an atmosphere of resentment and anger where collaboration and happiness and love and excitement should be. And so when you operate selfishly from a place of, what do I get out of this? Opportunistic, okay? You destroy your progress as an actor. What you should say is, what can I add to this project? How can I contribute? How can I elevate it? Be excited about things. And if you're not, don't take the job. Find another way to make money. Don't take the job if you're not going to be excited about it. Once you've taken the job, finish it and be a professional. Because a separate occasion, I had a lead actor, actress, it doesn't matter, male, female, everybody's equally crappy or good. We shot, I think, 10 or 12 episodes of a web series. This is also already almost a decade ago. And I still remember this actress. If I ever see her again, I won't work with her. Second to last or so day of filming. We're filming one of the last episodes. She's one of the leads. Slightly into the production, halfway through the day, gets on the call, her mood changes. She just says, I can't do this anymore, and she walks away. Walked off set. There was no indication that she didn't like the project. She seemed fairly engaged. She just decided, you know what, I can't do this anymore. Probably got a bigger job. And went on to that. Now, why is that a problem? And why should you care? You need to, in this industry, think down the line about everything. Everything matters. Every job you take matters, but also how you execute that job matters. And it's better to have sort of a mediocre gig and kill it and do really well, and have everybody on set say, man, she was such a pro. He was so great, such a talent, so cool, so humble, so friendly, so easy to work with. Because you have 20 or 30 people around you that are looking at you saying, man, that's a pro. Whereas if you do something like that, you have 20 or 30 people around you who are saying, what is that all about? I'm not going to work with that person. Word travels, okay? What do you think happens 10 years down the line? 80% of those people might not be in the industry anymore, 50% might not be, or they might all be. That director might not be making little projects anymore, they might be making movies. Now where are you at? Now you could have had a director who worked with you years ago who calls you back for more and more things, but you don't, because you were selfish about a gig and it was too small for you and you were above it. So you didn't treat it like a real job. You treated it like something quick to make a few $100, and then you decided, nah, I'd rather go audition. So you'd rather go out for the slight possibility that you might land a gig than take the sure thing that was there, impress, do a good job, which probably would have led to about, by this time, 5 or 10 more jobs just with us. I would have loved to hire that person over and over again for various things. So keep that in mind when you're when you're taking jobs, when you're casting, when you're starting to work with people, even if you think like it isn't the best project. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt. Like if it's just a disastrous, terrible project and it's obvious that nobody knows what they're doing, you can go up to the producer and say, hey, you know what? I don't think you guys know what you're doing. This is a terrible project. I would like to quit. Can I quit before you even start or halfway through? If you're halfway through, finish it. You took the job. Be a professional. But if you suddenly get the sense that these people don't know what they're doing, you can step back. You can step out of it. But don't start asking for, hey, can I have my cake and eat it too? Can I go to auditions while we're in production? That's ridiculous. So be tactful. Have respect. Understand that this is a job like anything else. There's value in performing at the highest level at any job. If you're impersonating President Lincoln in high schools or elementary schools, or you're on set for a major movie, you should deliver the same level of performance because you're a professional. You're a professional actor, right? So I hope that's something to think about. I know most people don't look at themselves as selfish, but some of the things to keep in mind are, do you respond within 30 minutes or an hour of somebody actually reaching out to you for a production or within a production? If you get a text from the director or the production or the AD or whatever, do you respond right away? Or do you put it off and check your phone every 3 hours, off doing more important things? Are you checking your phone while you know that you're in contact with a production? Are you checking to see if they're communicating with you? Are you reaching out and asking questions? Are you showing engagement and excitement about the project? If not, I encourage you to do that. It makes you look more professional. What can you add? And this is the same when you look for agents and managers and all these people who can help you out. Most actors come from a place of, what do I need? I want to grow. I want to be on this show. I want a big agent. I want. Well, how about next time you consider all of this, you think, what can I add to that agent's roster? What value can I bring to that management company? What can I contribute to this project to make it better? If you start thinking that way, things will start shifting and changing because you will look at yourself as an asset, you will fine-tune your skills to be an asset, and you will be able to know where and how to place that asset to contribute value to the collaborative industry that is production and entertainment and commercial work. So when you know how you can contribute and you ask about how you can contribute and you can tell people, this is the value that I bring to you, this is what you'll get out of me, and this is why I'm great for this, because I will help you elevate this production and I'm excited about it, things will change. All right. See you on the next one.